With the announcement of the new Bleach game, Rebirth of Souls, everyone has been talking a lot, but the one thing that people have been wondering is what characters are we going to get? How far is this game going to go as far as content? But if you check the announcement trailer, I believe they've already given us enough information in that trailer alone for us to start accurately guessing what characters we're going to get right now. If you're excited for what I have to say, do your boy a favor and hit the like button. But I have one more thing that I need you to do. Go ahead and roll the tape. Roll the tape. It's about damn time. Oh
hoes just by walking past like me. You not rocking with a blade, chopping tags like me. You not splashing.
So you guys see this time
like me.
Everything. Why? If I'm playing with you, why would I have to watch? Exactly. Dumbass nigga. The water. I be sipping 19 gallons a day, bro. And that's on minimum.
Aries got skills and I'm back on the scene. I've been making a great new chip, but the team that be calling me a thief. I'm steady on the fiend. I'm computer perfect, but a negative thing. I'm in too cold, like freeze that too much ice. I splash your daughter on my feet, wear on her face on my D. I gave her 3 stripes like Adidas. Hey, my bad, I'm too fast.
Give me your weapon. Give me your weapon.
Trying to get negative, it really don't matter, but I gave you an additive. Hey,
that's what happens
for a second. You know I give up a lesson. A god, you can't really test him. I pull up and deck him.
So before we can start estimating and guessing what characters we're going to get in this game, we need to talk about the characters that were shown in the trailer. Some of them matter more than others, but we just need to know what we already have, because we know this game has been in development for a while now. It's been confirmed, but with this data, we can use that to guess other characters that we know for a near certainty it's going to be in the game, okay? So we have characters like Orihime, Uryu, Chad, Ichigo, Yoruichi, Urahara. But there's more characters and there's more things that we have to look at. We'll take a look at those later, though. Now, with these characters we've already seen, one thing to keep in mind is that the Uryu we saw is from the Soul Society arc. That doesn't mean the game is going to stop at the Soul Society, but it's just one thing that I feel is important to know. As far as characters, I believe it's best to start at the Soul Society arc, because when it comes to the beginning of Bleach, besides Cone, which we might get as maybe a gag character, there isn't much to say about the beginning of Bleach as far as characters. So let's go ahead and roll to the Soul Society. In the Soul Society arc, it's best to start with the captains. The first captain that we know is in the game for sure, because he was already shown, was Byakuya. There's not much to say about Byakuya. We know he's in the game. We saw him in the trailer. Let's move on. Another captain that I believe is going to be playable in the game is Soifone. And now I know people may be wondering, what's your reasoning for Soifone? Just because of the fact that we have Yoruichi in the game. I believe there's a lot you can do with Soifone as a playable character, even before she shows off her Bankai in the Fate Karakura Town arc. Another captain that I think is going to be in the game is Gin. All of his moves are pretty much the same, but I believe he's just going to be one of those super quick, one of the characters that strikes you when you least expect it. You feel me? Because I mean, like, that's who Gin is, bro. The game was going to retell the story of Bleach, and because of that, who else but Kenpachi? And I know Kenpachi is a very popular character. He is a character that everybody loves, bro. There's a lot you can do with Kenpachi play. I believe he's going to be one of those just tank, not even a tank character, bro. Just constant attacking, relentless, you feel me? One of those characters. But yes, Kenpachi is the next captain I believe is going to be in the game. After Kenpachi, the character that drives the majority of Bleach, Aizen. You can't have Gin without Aizen. That's number one. And Gin was Aizen's right-hand man until he tried to kill him. There's so much you can do with Aizen, even in the older games. There were games where Aizen's ultimate was just when he summoned the Minos Grande, and then the Minos would just shoot out Settle, and they would just move around for a while. But I don't think they would do that for this game. For this game, he has things that you can do, like what he did to Ichigo when he stopped his theme song, bro. That could be used as a counter. And then you have Haro 90 Kurohitsugi. You have so much you can do with Aizen as a character. There's no way he's not going to be a playable character in game. There's also a few characters where I don't have a genuine reason for why I believe they should be in the game. And I think there's still a few things that the character can do that can be used for a mechanic. Like Unohana, maybe she could have a mechanic where she could heal herself. And then there's characters like Mayuri that could possibly do the complete opposite and poison characters instead of Unohana's healing, where she can heal herself. But I think Unohana's healing would have to be very specific, or maybe you could only do it a certain amount of times, because we have to find a way to balance these characters while still making them unique. For right now, I think I'm done with the captains, but there's a lieutenant that I believe would fit perfectly in the game. There's people that may feel differently about this, but I would love if Nanao was in the game, because she's someone who uses a lot of Kido, and I feel like we need a few characters that instead of focusing on their Shikai, they should use more Kido for their combat, and Nanao would be a character that's perfect for that. We already know Renji's in the game, so there's no need to talk about him or talk about why he should be in the game. He's already been confirmed. We've seen him in the trailers. Let's keep going. Izuru would actually be really cool to have in the game, and the only reason I'm saying this is because of his Shikai alone. He could have a special, or however this game works, he could have a special move or something to where when he hits you, instead of you getting heavier, you start moving slower just in general. So it's like a slow motion effect on the character, whoever he's fighting. So it makes it to where you have to try and fight him without him hitting you too much, because you'll start moving slower. How would you counter this though? Would there be a way to counter it? Who knows? Let's keep going. I believe Akaku deserves to be in the game just because of the range, and he would definitely be a different fighter. He would have two different ways of fighting, because once he goes into his Bankai, how he fights in general completely changes, because it's so different from his Shikai. I believe that to a certain extent, Rangiku would play similarly to Byakuya, and it would just be cool to have another character that has that much range that isn't Orihime or Byakuya. So I think Rangiku deserves a spot in the list of characters. Another captain that I forgot to speak on was Toshiro. Toshiro's not only really popular in the community, it'd be really cool if he had a mechanic where he'd be able to freeze the other player for a short amount of time, allowing him to set up something else, or maybe he could freeze portions of the map, affecting movement for both characters or something like that. Who knows? But he's a character that definitely deserves a spot. I don't know if we're going to see anything from like the manga or the light novels or anything like that, but if we are, I think Shuhei would be really cool as a playable character. His Bankai might be a little broken, because if you read the light novels, like, he could put his heart back together with his Bankai when like it was cut into pieces, and like you could cut his arm off and his Bankai could reattach it. And it was so cool. So if we get anything outside of like anime content and things from light novels and manga, Shuhei, he's definitely a character that deserves playability in the game. Now that we've spoken about the Soul Society, there's something that I want to state from the trailer. If you look at the very end of the trailer, we see whatever you like to call them, True Zangetsu, White Ichigo, Ogichi, but we see that he's holding his Bankai. And the first time we see Ogichi in Bankai was when Ichigo was fighting him to gain control over his hollowification. We see Ichigo with both a complete and incomplete hollow mask within the trailer, and the first time we see Ichigo actually don this complete hollow mask, or this version of it, was when Grimmjow invaded Katakura Town. When Grimmjow invaded Katakura Town, Ichigo could only use this mask for 11 seconds, but because of the fact that the first time we see Ichigo use this mask is when Grimmjow invaded Katakura Town, and that's the first time he used it in combat, that also lets us know that Grimmjow, I believe, is going to be a playable character. There's no confirmation they're going to stop at the Visored arc, but if they go into Hueco Mundo, I think it would be better, because then you'll be able to use the Resurrection for Grimmjow, you'd be able to use Uchiha, and we'd have characters like, for example, Noitora. I know there's a lot of people saying that Nell should be in the game, and normally I would agree with you, but at this time at least, we don't really see Nell do much, because she goes into her Resurrection and it doesn't hit because she transforms back into a child because of her cracked mask. So I don't think she would fit as a playable character, but if they do go this far, I believe they would actually have 2 different Uryus and possibly 2 different Orihimes. We don't know this for certain, but one thing that I was thinking about when I was watching the trailer is that I believe there's going to be 2 different Ichigos. I believe there's going to be an Ichigo that goes from Shikai to Bankai if they utilize some type of transformation mechanic, which I think they will. But I also think there's going to be an Ichigo that starts at Bankai, and maybe he has something like a transformation with a time limit where he goes into the hollow mask, but he can only maintain it for a certain amount of time, but it boosts his speed, it boosts his strength, it boosts everything just a lot. You feel me? Because they've done that with previous games, like with Bleach Blade Battler 2nd. When you went Bankai with Ichigo, he had another move that he could use at max energy where he could use his 11-second hollow mask. I don't know how they're going to go about the hollow mask if they do go into Hueco Mundo, but like I said, there's a chance that they're going to stop at the Visored arc from what we have right now, because we still have very little information. But if they stop at the Visored arc, it's fine. If they go into Hueco Mundo, it's also fine. But I don't think a ton of the Espada should be playable, just because of how a lot of the Espada worked. And with some of the Espada, they really did absolutely nothing as far as combat, and I don't think it would work in the setting of a fighting game like this. I said this earlier, but Cone, I think, would be cool to have as a gag character. And another character that I would enjoy to have, like, it's a character that's not needed, but she can fight, is Ururu. And if you don't remember who Ururu is, it was the girl, one of the kids that was with Urahara when Ichigo first met him. At the beginning of Bleach, she had hands. So I think it would be cool to add her as like maybe an extra character or something like that. But that's all I have to say as far as those 2. For now, that's all I really had to say, because this video was just a whole bunch of guessing and speculation of characters that we could receive for this new game, and I'm just a really big Bleach fan. So if you enjoyed this video, do your boy a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to my channel for more content. I'm just trying out a whole bunch of different stuff right now, and yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.